I am super excited to be bringing you something that is new, that is fresh, that is bold, coming right on your screens. Something that is going to be bringing you a lot of information that we really need to know. Sometimes we really wonder, who is who? Where does he come from? What did he do at first? Welcome to hashtag the TX Junction with me, SharksNova, Omdemude Ogam Level. They call me SharksNova. That's a radio name, some they do call that name. But anyway, today we're going to be having something that is new. And all the big thanks to the crew behind the scenes. As we get to be starting this show, a lot of people, when they hear about visual talk shows, they ask themselves, is it going to bring celebrities, popular people, famous people, influential people? But we forget one thing, that an influential person starts from somewhere. When we're talking about influential people, we talk about influence as its term, as it says that it's a creation of a history that someone brings onto the table. If we don't tell their story before they become successful or before they become millionaires, then who is going to tell the story? We as TX Junction, we are here. And today in the studio at the Deluxe Suites, Victoria Falls, we are having an amazing, young, incredible soul. We have done quite a lot of things under his belt, and he have managed to make sure that he is always stuck on point, making sure that everything that he does it on point. I'm joined by Takudzwa B Dende. So, there is a B, my brother.
Yeah.
Some they call Brandon, some they say it's Brandon, some they say it's Brandon. Maybe if you can tell us how you pronounce your name, it can be better that way, because a lot of people we mistaken that name.
Well, it depends with which part of the world you come from.
Oh.
In South Africa, if you're Afrikaans, you pronounce it as Brandon.
Oh, okay.
If you're from Zimbabwe, you obviously just say Brandon or Brandon,
Yeah,
depending
Brandon,
on which part of
Brandon,
country you come
something
from.
something like that.
Yeah. So it all depends with where you come from.
Oh, okay.
So there's no right or wrong way to pronounce my name.
So you prefer what? So that at least I can give the people the correct name is Takudzwa on the B, you say?
Brandon.
Takudzwa Brandon Dende is in the studio with me, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome, big brother, to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, and congratulations on your first episode.
Thank you so much, man. If it wasn't for the guys behind the scenes, it would be something else. So tell us, man, you grew up as the son of a cop. Trust me, my life was hectic just having a parent who is into military and etc. But today is not all about myself. It's all about you. How was it growing up with a parent who is a cop?
Well, mostly you know that you grow up under a microscope. You are aware that you have to be the law-abiding citizen and be an example to everyone else in society. So growing up with the father who's a cop meant that I had to be the law-abiding citizen and set an example for everyone else. And this was a heavy load and a heavy burden to carry. And thankfully, I managed to bear that cross.
And I think it's one of the most things that are hectic, man, whereby you have to abide by the law, and sometimes you feel like you could have done A, B, C, and D, but because you know that back home your father is respected, and you have to carry a certain image as well for your parents.
Yeah, it obviously comes with a lot of pressure because my father was one of the top cops in Bulawayo.
Okay.
So that meant that everyone knew who exactly my father was. So there was no case of being naughty and taking a candy or two from the shopkeeper because I knew I'd be in deep trouble with my father.
Which is something that is massive. We're still right here on hashtag the TX Junction. We're having Takudzwa. On the name, I'll say Brandon Dende. And we continue. He's a son of a cop, and he has a lot of things, as I have mentioned, that he have achieved right under his belt. And so we're still yet to know a little bit more, because we need to know how exactly did he get to achieve, etc., etc. Kwesinye isikhathi zikhona ingane ezivama ukuthi zona mazikhangela ke laphana ke sesiyathola ukuthi ke azinalo ithemba lokuba ke siqhubekele phambili nenqoba phambili yokuthi kahle kahle bona bangobani. But still on the issue of you growing up, you know, as a son of a cop, man, there are a lot of things that usually come with being a son of a cop. Everyone is looking at you and everyone is saying Takudzwa should have done this, Takudzwa should have followed this certain rail, but you decided to do your own thing and then you started law.
Yeah, well, when you are the son of a cop, you know, they expect you to either be a teacher or a cop, or you can join the army. So everyone sort of puts you in a box and they expect you to just amount to that very little that they've put you in. So it all depends with which part of society you grow up in. I grew up in a society where everyone expected me to be just like my father because he was an award-winning cop. So they expected that I would be like him.
Wow. You know, especially selecting friends, man, when it comes to a son who, or in fact, any child who is brought up in a family that is a little bit strict. One of the days you posted something and then you say that life is awfully ugly, man, without friends. So what kind of friends did you have growing up, you know? Yes, abanye you should have certain friends, that friend, and that friend. But how did you choose yours? Because you claim that it's awfully ugly to just have a life without a friend.
Well, I've had good and bad friends. I was the bad friend.
Most of the time, so just
most
a little
of the
bit.
time. So with picking friends, it just depends with what you want to do in life. And I was fortunate enough to be surrounded by the very people that push me. So how I sort of picked my friends was centered around what their dreams are, what their ambitions are, and if they were slightly different from what I had, that's how I would pick my friends, because you don't want to be stuck with the same friends who do the exact same things as you do. So I'd go for the very friends that would challenge me, and that is how I picked all my friends. So now we are in different fields, and we're specializing in different areas in our industries, and that is how I picked all my friends.
So, you know, we looked at other things, man, before we take a commercial break. There's this moment whereby you have spent, in fact, most of your life after teenagehood all by yourself, overseas studying, and some of the times perhaps working or visiting. How was it, though, to maintain your goal lane, to say, okay, I'm going to be stuck on this lane and do what you coming from home, you went to school, you said, I'm doing this, I'm doing my internship, I'm doing this. How did you maintain that, man? Because a lot of us, we seem to derail ourselves soon after, what do we call this? Soon after we go where our parents can't see us, you know. All the time I feel like my dad is right behind me, but you managed to do all those things. How did you manage it as a young person?
Well, you know, there's no rubric for achieving anything in life, and just constantly reminding yourself of the goals that you've set for yourself means when you leave and you know exactly what you're going for, you are going to get to your destination and work for those things. I will not lie to you and tell you that I did not have fun. Okay. I had a lot of fun, and it's all about balance. You know, if you go out partying on a Friday and Saturday, Sunday you rest, and later in the day, you know, you start planning your week. So it's all about planning and planning and planning. So you do reserve a bit of time for fun, and then you get back to your plans.
Wow. So when we come back, good people, we're going to be having something that is nice and epic. Again, we're still having Takudzwa B Dende right in the studio, and we're going to see and also hear more about himself soon after the commercial break. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing, man. Thank you. You're having a lot of things, man, to share right here in the studio. Welcome back to the TX Junction. If you're just tuning in, I am joined in the studio by a law graduate and a human rights advocate, someone who says that he's also an aspiring poet. He says he has a lot of things that he loves. You love traveling, you love eating, you love cooking. Yeah, those I understand, man. But when you say that you love walking, I was like, okay. Is that a hobby or something? Because walking, I myself, I hate walking. So I was just like, okay, what are you talking about when you're saying that you love walking? What does that mean, actually? Because trust me, I was just like, okay.
Well, firstly, I don't own a car, so I have to walk.
Oh.
And with the walking, it's more of a nature walk and getting to see the beautiful places and beautiful people. You can only see beautiful people when you're walking, not when you're driving.
Okay, so it means that walking sometimes is a little bit better than driving, because you get to see a lot of things, you get to see a lot of people. That's what you were saying.
Yes.
Speaking of walking, you have walked the journey of education, man. You put one of the years, I think it was 2018 to 2019, you put your university where you studied on the map of Africa by winning the best speaker for Africa regional round. That was between those 2 years. And then you qualified your university to go for the final round, which was an international round, which happened in Oxford. Oxford. Tell us, man, how was the feeling that you had getting to know that I, as a Zimbabwean young man, at another university in another country, getting to put the university on the map? How was the feeling? How did you react to that?
It was so surreal. It's a bit overwhelming at times when you start thinking about where you grew up, how you grew up, and, despite the odds, you still got that opportunity to travel and not only go to the next country, just across the border, but, to cross seas and go to a different continent to go and represent your entire continent. So that was very exciting, nerve-wracking, and yeah, it was one of the scariest experiences because that was one of the longest flights I've ever been on.
Oh, meaning that it also brought different opportunities, you as Takudzwa B Dende, to also being on a plane. Was it your first time ever being on a plane or something?
No. So I went to New York before that, okay, and Ghana for other competitions. So it wasn't my first time on a plane, but I would have loved to be on a broomstick.
Oh, that's beautiful. Broomstick. Man, you still believe, man, that other people are still doing that, but I don't believe in that. So, man, as an African child, you mentioned there are quite a lot of things, man. But as an African child, we think that some of the things that we achieve are through a favor, are through you knowing someone, maybe perhaps politically, or you have a very influential person at your home. When I'm out cooler, ukulele ekas, you proved your family, you proved to us as a show, you proved it to your friends that you are someone who have been a go-getter. Ungakhangeli, unganakile la uqhamuka khona, because as far as I remember, you were brought up in Ekasi, Ntumbane, in Ulawayo, and then there's a young person who's out there, maybe from Gwerumkoba, maybe the person is in Shavane, and he's saying, I really can't because, I come from a background that a lot of people don't believe that I can do something. But you did that from Ekasi, Ntumbane, the place, my guy, in Ulawayo. But you maintained to do it. How do you get to say to yourself, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to achieve this?
Well, it has to do with a lot of talking. Okay. Perhaps that's why I got Best Speaker. Okay. You have to talk to the right people, and you have to talk to everyone. So it starts with setting the right foundation for yourself, So I had to do a lot of networking from a very young age. That meant having to talk to really old people that were talking about stuff that I really didn't understand, okay, but now I do. So it's an ongoing journey where you have to constantly talk to people you wouldn't necessarily be comfortable talking to and putting yourself outside your comfort zone. So it could be something as simple as sharing a glass of sparkling wine with someone for the first time.
Wow, for sparkling wine, man. Of a sparkling wine.
Yes.
Wow. So speaking of that, man, you were talking about quite a number of things, and we were saying that growing up Ekasi is something that have affected quite a number of kids out there, whereby they esteem, they're always saying, I don't believe that I'm going to do this. I don't believe I can do this. But you maintain that. Who inspired you to actually be that kind of a go-getter? Because, my guy, you can't be that someone who just goes for those goals without someone inspiring you behind to say, I want to be like, because he did A, B, C, and D.
Well, it had to do with a lot of crying for a few years. So many tears went in there. I'm quite sure we can have one or two stories about that.
I would really love them to know, what exactly made you cry. One thing that you can say that this thing inspired me, but it made me cry a little bit. We would really want to know that. What was that?
So my father wasn't working for about 4 years. He was dismissed from the police force, and we had to constantly fight in court. So we had a family friend who would come over and check up on us and stuff, and he happened to be a lawyer. And that's when I realized that maybe this is something that I want to do, because you're not only doing good out there in society, but you're also making money. You all need to make money.
You're helping other people and also making money. You also had a privilege, man, to also have an opportunity of you going in 2019, if I remember the year quite well, having a privilege of also being part of the Link Takers. Is it Link Takers or African?
So it's an international firm called Linklaters. It's mostly based in London, and it's a magic circle firm that focuses on corporate and commercial law. So they specialize on dealing with companies mostly, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of this program. Yeah.
So We have a lot of things we can talk about you, Taku, and we have a whole bunch and a lot of things. Trust me when we say that, especially when it comes to one young person who is out there, who is actually saying, some of the times I really wish if I could do, etc. I personally, I dreamt of being on television all back in the day, and then I ended up shifting my goalposts. You mentioned that your father was in a tough period of time up until you saw this lawyer friend helping your family to do A, B, C, and D. And then you now then wished to become a lawyer. But what did you wish to become before that period? Because we have seen abanye abantwana lapha phandle eKasi, you know, they wish to be a police officer, and then the other thing we see is them being chased around by police officers. Yeah.
Well, growing up, I actually wanted to be a dermatologist.
Okay.
And my journey to being a lawyer was filled with a lot of rejections, a lot of no's. And that's why I said there's a lot of tears.
Okay.
So I had to go through a lot of rejection before I decided to study law. And even when I was studying law, I still had to go through some rejection for me to eventually get to the Linklaters African clerkship. So my journey is the quintessential story that you know, you don't just give up when you're doing stuff. You still have to keep on pushing, even when you're left with one toe. Just keep on pushing.
We keep on moving, eh?
Yeah.
And we'll keep moving, good people. We're going to be coming back soon after the commercial break. It's never a dull moment right here on hashtag the TX Junction with me, SharksNova Level. And today in the studio, we're having Takudzwa B Dende in the studio. When we come back, good people, let's catch up and let's get to see how it goes. Remember that we have an exciting game, Never Have I Ever, and the music video of the week. Even though time is never on anyone's side. Welcome to hashtag the TX Junction with me, SharksNova, as we get to complete the show. Remember that on this show, we have that famous game of phones that we call Never Have I Ever, where we get to talk about things that he have done, I have done, or he have not done, that I have not done. But before we do that, a quick question to you, Takudzwa. What do you think, or what comes to your mind when someone talks about black tax?
Well, for me, black tax is not you taking care of your parents or sending your siblings to school. It's tax when your uncle or any other extended family imposes a responsibility on you merely because you're related. Yeah. So it becomes tax when somebody wants you to pay for something just because you work. Okay. But they didn't in any way contribute to
your education. Sometimes many other people, they don't even contribute, but they'll be like, okay. Oh wow, that was a beautiful one, man. You heard what he said. He said when those family members, especially uncles, anyway, so on Never Ever Ever, my brother, this is a game where we have to tell the truth. We have to tell the truth like it's our last day on earth, and we have to go to heaven, and this is our ticket to heaven.
No pressure.
Thank you. So let's get the questions rolling. Right, we have never have I ever been kicked out of a bar.
Well, I've personally never been kicked out of a bar,
okay,
but my friend has, and we had to Uber him back to his place. So I don't know if that counts.
So are you that type of a friend that when your friend is chased out of a club, all of the crew gets out?
No, we just sent him on an Uber and made sure he was safe. Then we went back and had fun.
Wow. Then I have been kicked out of the bar. I don't know how I got into the club, but I only found a bouncer, a huge guy, coming to me and saying, "Young man, you have to be out of the club." I'm like, "But I have a packet of alcohol and it's expensive alcohol. What are you talking about?" And they're like, "It's not all about your alcohol, but it's because you're wearing a shirt. Please go out and change."
Bars and shorts.
Now, then the fun was gone and etc. The second one, never have I ever fart in the bus.
Well, farted on a bus.
Yeah, like, come on, guys. Who did this? Yet you know that you're the one who did that.
Well, it's happened, you know, at the unfortunate events. Okay. Never have hot wings and Coca-Cola.
So you mean like hot wings and Coca-Cola can...
It's exactly like beans.
Bring some toxic, man.
Exactly like beans.
On that one, I have Once, no, I think 3 times. It was around 3 times. Because if I say once, I'll be lying on the show. Okay, never have I ever hooked up with a friend.
Oof. Hooked up with a friend. Well,
On this one, I never.
well,
Yourself?
I've done it with 2, so yeah, drunk nights, and then you all go, you're sleeping,
Yeah.
and then
It's just like, why not, man? Jesus.
we had drinks.
Tomorrow's another day.
Exactly.
Oh.
Brand new day. So
It's a brand new day, and then you don't even think about what happened.
you don't talk about
what
it.
happens in Las Vegas stays in Vegas.
Exactly.
What happens on the TX junction?
Stays here.
Perfect, man. Never have I ever said that. Never have I ever said the baby was cute when I knew that. Obviously, man, this baby's not cute. It's not anywhere near too cute. Never have I ever.
Hey, this is one of those situations where I'm guilty as charged.
Oh, you've done it because I was like, why are you laughing like and smiling as if you've done it? But mostly, I have done it, and on family functions. Because they're expected to ubamba yonke ingane like mkuke,
Exactly.
hey mtwale, etc. You know how it is. Eh? I was like, hey muhle lo mntwana, and like, ooh, yeah, muhle mntwana, but you're deep in down.
Yeah, about Nunuza, yeah, but
Yeah, Nunuza, but instead of saying Nunuza, you're like poncho. So as we continue, my brother, never have I ever lied on a talk show.
well, this is my first time on a talk show, so I haven't lied yet.
Like
So-
as in yet.
So I'm still.
Let's
I'm
hope
still
we're going
fine.
to finish of telling the truth. Let's hope we're going to finish of telling the truth. I have, maybe it's because I had a number of interviews, and sometimes, they ask you questions that you feel like, okay, this mustn't be out. Anyway, never have I ever worn an underwear inside out.
The day after a drunk night, and
Yeah.
you're trying to dress up because you were naked the whole
And
night.
then you take the back part and
the
then you
back
put it
and
on
the front and the inside out.
Then you feel good, man, and like, yes, I'm wearing it well. Anyway, I've done that after we were swimming.
Yeah.
And then we when you're swimming in those little streams, man. And then you just pick your clothes, and then because when you're swimming in those little streams is hocha, stuff like that. Anyway, never have I ever made fun out of a friend's hairstyle when I told my friend that your hairstyle, this hairstyle, my guy, that's the hairstyle. And then you start making fun out of the hairstyle.
Njobona lawa ngama situations lana uqambela umngane wakho amanga umtshela ukuthi ha no grand sharp.
Yeah, this one is dope, man.
Yeah, you gas them up, you hype them up, and then next day seqala ukumhleka, just all for the fun of it, banter. So
I always
I've
do
done
that. I
it.
think I'm the bird one, trust me, because I always do that. If my friend is dressing badly and I just tell you that this that you're doing, my guy, is not good, and then you continue or you insist, you trust me, I'll let you go out like that. Even if you argue with me twice, third time we sang, I'll let you go. Never have I ever been arrested.
a cop's son
You're
under
always
microscope.
of the
Yeah.
law, and etc. I still remember I was with my mother, and then I stole a amateur piece from a supermarket. And then my mother was like, "Nasin kukusungisa chit." And then we went back, and then only my mother paid for those, and we went back. But I actually thought that maybe I'm going to be arrested. So I think that was the only moment I was near to being arrested. Never have I ever, this one, man, woke up in a strange place without knowing how I got there. Yeah.
Antunona mkangorara mchingo roa 1 or 2 drinks are actually not 1 or 2.
So it means that
15, 20.
Before I say it, man, it means you said when we asked about the underwear, say because of 1 or 2 drinks, now because of 1 or 2 drinks.
Antunona
man,
ndosakachifana
to our
uzochinja kuti hayi it wasn't 1 or 2 because 1 or 2 drinks adzimboita kuti umuke usingazivi kwauri.
Yeah, I've
But-
been stoned to that level, man, whereby I just wake up and I really don't even know how I entirely go there.
Unenge usingazivi kuti uri kufamba sei.
And the last question, And the last question, and the last question says, never ever driven drunk.
Hey, remember, I love walking. I don't have a car. Another thing, hey, I don't have a license, so...
Oh, yeah, please, when you don't have a license, trust me, you want that camera, and that other camera. Please, when you don't have a license, guys, don't attempt to sit on the driver's seat, trust me. Speaking of that one, my guy, I was once arrested, right? And then there was someone who came to my rescue at that particular time. Trust me, the person knows himself. If you know, you know. I had no license at that time, and then I made sure that I went ahead, and now I have my license. And thank you so much, man, for coming through to hashtag the TX Junction. We wish you all the best in everything that you're going to do next, man.
Thank you so much for inviting me to the show, and congratulations on your first episode again.
Thank you so much. So, for the short period you've been in True Falls, what have you learned? Maybe a language, maybe the way to say goodbye or the way to say hi?
Well, I've just learned just one Tonga word to say thank you. Twalumba loko loko.
Oh,
so
at least you learned something, man.
You know, one or two things that I've picked up along the way.
Oh, that's good. So, anyway, good people, thank you so much for being with us right here on hashtag the TX Junction with me, SharksNova, as we get to be wrapping it up, and big shout out to the crew behind the scenes. As we get to say, make sure that you leave a comment, you subscribe, and tell us on the comment section down below, who do you want to see next on the show? Why do you want to see that person? And as we get to be wrapping up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having a brand new, beautiful video that is going to be coming from Sani Makalima. That's the music video of the week. From me and the rest of the crew, it's a bye-bye.
Mr. Makalima. Mutoro wondiremera momoyo munendangariro chibuya undivhenekere mumoyo mangu munerima ndaida kukuchoda baby one more time make love to you goodbye zero to ndaida kukuchoda baby one more time make love to you goodbye zero to Zandicha takura mumoyo mangu Takudzwa